You know, can we close with just one of my favorite Wes Sims stories?
Uh-oh.
All right, so after Tough 10, Wes calls me up. He's like, dude, I got to do something special. We're going to make the announcement that I was on the show. So, like a press conference. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, all right, dude, what are you thinking? And Wes says, you know those homeless people right off like I-55 or that highway? It's I-55 in Cicero in Chicago. He's like, you know those homeless people that you always tell me about that you love? Dude, there's some great homeless people over there. Like, there's a lot of personality. I have no problem giving them money because it's like a circus over there. And they're decent for the most part. My dealings with them, they've been decent people.
Yeah.
So... And that's not me trying to make fun of them or anything like that. They've legitimately been decent human beings. They just happen to be homeless. So I'm like, yeah, what about it? He's like, that's where my press conference is going to be.
You've seen the Arnold Classic?
Yeah.
I want to have the Sims extravaganza.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're going to have a competition. We're going to have races over there. We're going to have arm wrestling. I had all these guys and women running up and down the highway.
Dude, this guy was peeling off money, hitting them with cash.
I was giving them money. I was giving them T-shirts. We had a whole bunch of food brought in, and people driving by looking and honking. I mean, it was...
Dude, this guy was like an ATM, handing out money to the homeless, giving them food, giving them clothes. I remember, like, I drove by a couple weeks later, and they had all these Hammer House shirts and all of the homeless people begging for money. Like if you're like an MMA guy or like a jiu-jitsu guy, and like you're driving, you're like, one of them had like an Abu Dhabi T-shirt.
I get them all.
Abu Dhabi shirt on that homeless guy?
I get them all together in front of the camera because we'd be filming all this. And I said, "No, you guys all have to chant. Wes is the best." So I get them all chanting, and then when they'd start chanting and the camera would be on, I'd be like, "Oh no, stop, guys!
Stop, guys! No more! No more! Yeah, no more!
No more! Don't do that."
And there was one guy there named Smitty.
Smitty.
Dude,
we became buddies.
Dude, Smitty was this Vietnam vet. And, dude, he was just a decent human being, really PTSD'd out, liked his drink, not a criminal, not a thief. Man, he would sit here. I'd go to lunch with him, and I'd call Wes up, and Wes say hi to him, and he'd always ask me about Wes. Like, it really meant a lot to him, like what Wes did, and he'd always go, "How's the big man? How's Wes doing? How's Wes?" I'd call up Wes, and it was just like, this guy's friggin' homeless, and the highlight of his last 20 years is meeting him, getting a couple autographs, getting his picture taken with him. This guy took the time out of his day. And Smitty was like a really interesting guy. Like you take him out to eat, he'd go into Vietnam stories where there were some harrowing events that he was involved in. And, like I said, I'm obviously divorced, but at the time I was married, and I just, every once in a while, I'd see Smitty, I'd grab him. My then wife would be cooking, he'd come over, I'd let him shower and stuff. And I remember, I had to have this conversation with him. I'm like, "Hey, Smitty, dude, we're on good paper. We're cool. But when you shower at my house, when you use the loofah and the sponges, my old lady kind of wants to throw them out. It's not that like she thinks anything bad of you, but she doesn't know you, just kind of keep it to the soaps and the shampoos, my man. Don't be using like all of her sponges and stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, dude, it was great. It was great. Would you like to care? Would you share what happened with you and Smitty? Remember the guy that was stepping on him and that was just robbing all these homeless dudes?
Well, I don't want to share that story. They might still be looking for me for that one.
Dude, Smitty needed some street justice.
Oh, yeah?
Let's just say I'm not pointing any fingers at anybody, but this dude, someone drove from Ohio to exact the wrongs for the homeless people underneath I-55 in Cicero.
Listen, I didn't have very many street fights, but the ones I did, I won.
Dude, I remember.
And I'll tell you this, I know there was bones breaking.
This dude was beating up the homeless people, stealing their money. And, when Wes came into town, he's like, man, I'd really like to kind of have lunch with Smitty again. Dude, it turned into a world-class ass whooping.
Wow.
I remember waiting. I remember waiting for the cops going, holy shit, dude. No, dude, we can't take off. We got to stay here. We got to stay here. This dude's crawling away. And I'm like, no, dude, we can't. We got to stay. This guy's been robbing the homeless people. I mean, he did swing at Wes. He got tough with Wes first. I'm like, man, we got to stay. And then, all these cars are driving by because it's a busy intersection. The cops never came. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, man, I think we're good to go. Yeah, no. Good, Wes, man. Is there anything any other stories, anything that you'd like to include on this?
Save it for the sequel.
Save it for the sequel.
All right, dude. I want Coleman in July, and I want you sitting here. And John, we're going to shut up, and we're just going to let it roll out.
I'm going to bring Coleman for you guys, and there's one other one that I think would really entertain you, and that is the Raging Redneck, Philip Allen Parker.
What's his professional record?
Professional record, I think he's 1-14, but overall with amateur, he was 0-10. So I think he's 1-24, 1-25, something like that. But that one was for a belt, and he won it.
Yeah. So, anyway, Wes, man, dude, big solid you coming in, man. I sincerely appreciate it.
It was fun. Good to hear good stories. Always is.
Thank you.
Cool. With that, signing off, man. Thanks for joining us on Fighters Corner. If you like this interview, please subscribe.